A recent tweet from University of Tennessee law professor Glenn Reynolds generated national controversy. In an interview at the UT College of Law, Reynolds elaborated on his controversial tweet.
I was actually retweeting a whole bunch of stuff about riots going on in Charlotte. And there were a lot of things going on, violent and ugly. And one of the things I retweeted was a tweet from a local TV station showing people stopping interstate traffic and surrounding the cars. I thought that was very dangerous, and I was a little upset. So my tweet said, run them down. What I actually meant by that was just don't stop. You've got to keep going because it's very dangerous to be stopped in your car and surrounded. I certainly wasn't suggesting that people should run down peaceful, harmless protesters, but rather that they shouldn't stop their car and put themselves at risk for violence when people were threatening them.
Reynolds referenced live coverage of the Charlotte protests and previous acts of violence toward motorists.
There have been quite a few cases where motorists were harmed, dragged out of their cars by mobs and beaten or killed. And of course, the most famous of those was Reginald Denny from the Los Angeles riots in 1992. He was a truck driver who was pulled out of his cab and had his skull smashed with a cinder block and was beaten so badly he nearly died. And that's a fairly common worry when you're in the middle of a mob and your car is trapped.
Even with additional context, UT Law student Brittany Moore still finds Reynolds' tweet problematic.
That does not change my perception of the tweet because common sense tells us that when you say run them down and you know that a vast majority of the people who are quote unquote them, who are protesting outside on the highways and byways in North Carolina or Atlanta or any various other cities, they're African Americans. And so when you are saying run them down, you're basically promoting violence and inciting violence against African Americans.
I am a big believer in civil rights and civil liberties. I'm actually a big supporter of peaceful protest and a big supporter of constraints on police use of force improperly. But I'm also a big believer in self-defense and in people protecting themselves when they're threatened. The solution to speech you don't like is more speech, so the criticism I'm fine with.